Hey everybody, this is Jechta Plays. Today I'm going to do a little bit of like an in-depth video about, I still want to say Project T, but it's not Project T anymore, of course. It's Aria. Aria has been revealed officially, so I don't have to say the project title anymore. That is gone, so no more Project T. Aria it is. Aria is my upcoming adventure game where you will go on a journey and a story is going to be told. So, yeah, I cannot really share much about that now, but at least not in this video. But I will do more information later on in the coming months. I will also show the eventually the character itself. I think some people are curious about that. I'm not sure if I will reveal the character. Um, the thing is that like if I'm going to reveal the character, because like this is always like the a very like uh um yeah, like I want to say like a special moment, because like it depends on if you're going to like the character or not. At the moment, at the moment of recording, I don't have anything to share regarding the character. Maybe I can do a video about some concept arting, or like I did some concept sketches in Dreams. Maybe I can show that so that you give a little bit more of like an inspiration of where it can go, or but I can also say like it maybe is not going to go, not really that, because like it's because only sketches and ideas. So maybe I will do a special video about that, like so if you're curious about some progressing, let me know as well, because like I'm really curious if that is something you might be finding interesting to know. Um, yeah, about stuff like that. But this video is all about the trailer itself, and I really want to show in this video that what you saw in the trailer is actually going to be in the game itself. So it was what I showed was actually gameplay, at least gameplay in game footage. Not gameplay, because there was no gameplay in there, but in-game footage. I said that also in the trailer itself. A little bit of a, like I did it on purpose, but I also like it's a little bit of like a joke as well, because like a lot of um, like official big release trailers always say like, okay, this is in-game rendered, and so it's a little bit like that, but it's also just to show that what you saw in the trailer is actually what you're going to see when you're going to play the game. So I really wanted to take that confusion away, because like sometimes like if you I mean like if you saw my previous hint trailers, I put like 1 minute, like 60 seconds of hints of like environments, different environments. Those were like all teasers, and they didn't really say much. But I really want to give some clues and hints of what the game was going to be, a little bit like warming up basically of what you're going to expect. But those trailers were all like not fully potential to be actually gameplay, world designing. Those were only meant for the trailers itself, and not for the for the game world. So with the reveal trailer, with the Aria reveal trailer, I decided to use one of the levels where you're going to take place as your character. This is actually in place what you're going to visit, and in this place, yeah, I cannot say much more about this place, or what it is, or where it is, or what it's called, or anything. But I can say that this is actually just yeah, part where you're going to take place, and I really want to show that to you. So I really want to see this as like a death diary or something, or like a behind the scenes of this creation. So before I'm going to start, because like it's still based on the trailer, so I have to turn off the trailer. So let me turn off this one. So we actually maybe the music as well. We don't need the music. Oh, it's already open. Let me close this. So here, like we don't need that. Okay, so um, this is the trailer environment still, like, but this is just like the remix version of the level, so there's not going to be any changes. But I really want to show you that like what you saw in the trailer is also what you're going to be in the level. Um, so first of all, this is like one of the part of the worlds. There's not much not much going on. Sorry. Like for instance, there are not any NPCs around here. If you're going to play eventually Aria, you will going to meet some people in this particular area that they are like chilling here, where you can like interact with, talk with them. Um, but they're not in here in this particular part, but they will be in the final release. But to show you that like what you saw in the trailer is actually something that you're going to play, and there's like a simple way to show that is just to drop a character, right? Drop a character in this world, just to, a showcase of that you actually can walk in here. So I'm not really sure what kind of puppet I'm going to use. I think I will just use this one, the blank puppets of like from Dreams itself. I think that's pretty cool. I can set him here. Let me wait. I think like here is something. There you go. And I need to make sure it's in a little bit in the center of the world. Because for people that don't know or that didn't know yet, my game is going to be 2.5D side-scrolling game. I where the like I can say like where is this coming from is that because like before I was starting this project, I did a lot of resourcing. I did a lot of like what can dreams handle, what graphics can dreams handle, like what is the quality that dreams can like how far can I push this? I'm still on my base PlayStation 4, so I'm not like any Pro or PlayStation 5. I don't even know what is a PlayStation 5. Who knows? I don't even know that console. But the thing is that yeah, I really want to like find out what you could do inside dreams and to push a little bit the limits here and there. And I did that for people that are curious. I actually did that and released something like that. Is the Once Upon a Time Forest. You can check that out. It's it's on my on Dreamiverse. If you type in Once Upon a Time, you will get the forest, and you will notice right away it's a little bit laggy and there is a lot of frame drop. um, and I'm totally aware of that. It's not something that I'm not aware of it. I'm totally aware of it because like I did not make that scene where you can actually interact with or walk around it. I did not made that in that sense. I was first making it a visual showcase, just to see how yeah, just like play around with the tools a little bit, play around with the effect lighting effects. It was the first time I also added weather effects and day night cycle, even though it's a very simple one, the day night cycle. This game will have a full day night cycle, but like in the forest it's a very simple one. It's just like on off basically. But in here in this game, it's actually going to be a full day-night cycle, like 24 hours. Not in real life, but like a 24-hour cycle. So that is like with the Once Upon a Time Forest, that was something that I was like really looking at. Okay, what can I like push in dreams? Like how far can I push that? And if you're noticing, like if you're walking around in that forest, especially if you are going outside of the cave and you're seeing the forest itself, you will get a frame drop. If you're a PlayStation 4 base, you will get a frame drop. And so there's nothing wrong with your PlayStation. It's just how I created that scene. But it was just for me, just like I see some mistakes, by the way. Oh man. Oh well. But like yeah, that's something that I really was like going for to push that. But it was also for me a little bit resources for this project. So I had like a certain project in my mind for a very long time, and I really want to also tell a story, and that is like why I took like Once Upon a Time as basically for the resourcing for what you can do in dreams, and then like develop that and yeah, evolve that into Project Aria. Sorry, not Project into Aria. Oh man, I really have to. I'm still need to get used of the name still. Um, but the thing is that like with Aria is that I really want to tell um, a little bit of like a story, right? So it's going to be a little bit adult, but not like 18 plus or anything. It's not going to be gory but it's going to be like an adult story. At least that's what I'm trying to do. But the actually gameplay and things is just family friendly still, so you can play this with your kid, or you can also play this with your grandpa, grandma, or your parents, whatever. So there's like I try to do a little bit of everything, but there will be a serious tone in it that only the adults will understand. So that is something that I really want to achieve with Aria, and um, yeah, I really want to tell something, and I had that in mind in last year, already last year, when I was like starting to do resourcing for this. And for those who don't know, like you can see it in this video right there, in the right corner, you see Sharky, right? Sharky was my very first character that I made in Dreams. Not the very first character, but the very first character that I actually used as a character to do some worlds hopping. I made a demo-ish kind of design. Sorry, a game, but the game was more for like a community jam outside of Dreams. It was not a community jam for Dreams, but it was like an outside one for a Dutch game website. I took the community jam, and it was really fun to do. I had to do it in 10 days, so I had to use a lot of like minimal use assets. I had to use a lot of like some standard things like the timer, like the time. I really had like if you're playing that game, maybe you will say like it's a fun game or anything, but like it feels boring because there's not much going on, and that is simply true. Because like you're only seeing, or you're only like going through some like different worlds and design the different locations, and where you only can collect already existed points that Minimolecule made. So it is not very intuitive kind of concept, but the idea behind that was I made it for the Dutch game website, and the people that are working there have like their favorite games. So what I did was I designed the world in the taste of the people that working there. For example, someone really loves the Lord of the Rings, so I put really a Lord of the Rings vibe scenery in one of the levels, and another person that works there really likes Dark Souls and From Software games, so I put in From Software darker area. So that's why, and a fantasy one, and in the end I did the office of of theirs. Even though I don't know how their office really looked like in real life, but I made some parts on the studio, I asked them if it was allowed, because I contacted the yeah, the what is it called, the guy that that's like running the business over there. I emailed them, saying if I was allowed to use their logo, and also to use certain things, and he said like yes, of course, as long as you're not going to sell it, you are allowed to do so. So that was for me like, that's why it's in there. So it's there actually. You see, if you're jumping over the couch, if you're playing the game, you should play the game. You're jumping over the couch, and you see the logo behind. That's actually their logo. So that's a little bit like a fun side story. But so like Sharky was like for me the first one that I was about to make a full game of it. I had plans for Sharky to make it a full game, and even though some people saying like that the demo already felt like a full game, but that's not a full. At least like a full game for me is like a few hours. So that one you can beat in 4 minutes. So yeah, that's for my standards not a full game. um, but the thing is with Sharky is that like I had really big plans for Sharky, and like I really wanted to tell a story with Sharky first. Um, like yeah, I'm not going to say like the story itself, because maybe I still want to use it someday in the future. Even though I released this character, so I cannot really do that anymore. But like I had like a certain story that I want to tell, that you're playing as a little shark, and you have to deal with something. And but for some reason I was like building the worlds, and I had no idea where my story was going to be. So I took my whole working progress, I took that wrong. So what I did was like I without thinking I was just going to start building the worlds for Sharky. And eventually at like I think it was like the fourth level, that I was making, and I'm like, what am I doing? I'm building the worlds, but like, and even though they do connect a little bit with each other, but I don't have a story, and I don't have like a start and an end point of where I want to go. And I was like, this is not the way. This is not like how I should go. And I really felt tired, and I lost my motivation, and also inspiration, eventually, because like I was getting stuck for where I should go, right? So I didn't really know what to do, and so I went back to the drawing tables basically, and I started sculpting. I already did sculpting before, but like I started to sculpt in a different way, and I was like finding the right way to sculpt in dreams, and like look at like different ways for the assets, because like assets are very important to have in your game. Like they are like very important to have in your game. So for some games, and so what I did was just like, okay, I was going to look like, okay, what kind of assets can I make, but is not costing that much of quality, and also not like using too much of gameplay turmoil. So I really had to like rethink the whole progress of what I was going to do, and but for me, it felt like this was the only solution, to go for. Is just go start from scratch and just build the assets first, instead of going already nuts with with the world design and everything. Because like I love world building, and world designing is really in my blood, and it's something that I really love to do. But you have to start somewhere, and I had to start from the beginning. So a little bit of advice to you as well, if you're about to start to do game design, or if you're going to make games in Dreams or in any other engines out there. make sure you're going to draw something for yourself first. So draw a timeline for yourself. Like write write down what kind of like story you want to tell, and start from scratch. Don't go straight into an engine or into Dreams or in any other programs, and like don't go straight into world building, because like what will happen is that you unless you're doing something visually, then I will understand. But if you're going for a game, if you're actually going to make a game, then you're going to put random pieces into something, and it becomes very like how you say that, like eventually you're going to lose it, because like you don't know where you're going to head or where you're going to go next with stuff. It's not that like for like if you're going to make a game, it's not that you can let's first make the world and let's see after where the story is about. I mean, you can't do that. Like you can of course like already think about a certain team or environment where you want to take a certain where you want to tell the story in. And what I did also with Aria is that I have like an environment that I have in mind, and I think you can already guess a little bit. But like I have like in a certain environment that I want to take the game take place in. Um, there will be, of course, some twists and some plot points, and now I sound like it's going to be really well written stuff. It's not, but I'll try to do my best. But the thing is that like um, you will go on a journey, and I really want to take the player to a journey. I really want to do that. I really want to take the person to a journey. And for me, like if I play games for escapism. I play games to escape from the real world, escape from something that we already know. Now, this, if you're looking at this world, it looks all normal, right? It looks like you're taking place in a normal world. That's all I'm going to say. But the thing is that like when I was like starting Aria, and when I had a story in my head, I was going to write it down. So what I did was just like I was going to write backlore. Um, so what I did was just like I was going to write on my computer, and I already wrote some like lore or backlore from the character that you're going to play eventually, and also some lore about the world, so the names about the game, about the locations. There will be actually, it's all going to be named. The locations are going to be named. There will be music. There will be different music in different environments. So that's really something that I'm like working hard on as well. It's just that I really want to have like different music vibes in each different region in this game. Also, I don't want to make like a 4 minute of game, so it's not going to be a very short game. So if you're going to play this, it will take some time eventually to complete. Um, Now, I am not really that far with the logics and everything, so I probably will need some or collaboration with other people in the future, or I just going to go deep in the rabbit hole and see if I can create something myself. But I really want to try to make a game where it's not like too hardcore. I'm not going to make a hardcore game or anything. It's not. I really still want to make it easy going. I want to try to make it fun. I will try to make fun puzzles, and puzzles I mean not like platforming puzzles, but just like yeah, how can I say that? Like um, to solve mysteries in the world, basically. So they must connect basically in the world, and I cannot really share much about this now, but I will definitely do that in the coming months to show a little bit, maybe one of the elements like that what I mean with solving mysteries while doing puzzles and everything. So um, that's what I wanted to do with this game as well. But it's just going to be a story, and you're taking part of that story. You are the center point of the story, and even though it's a pre-made character, I have been thinking about if I should make because I really love RPG and or JRPGs, and I really love that you can like create your own character. Um, so it's more you. And I've been thinking so hard about this. If I should do, um, if I should like give people an option for to choose their own character. And trust me, I had this in my mind, and I have considered doing it, but I have decided to have just like one main character. Um, and that's going to be a little bit more challenging because, like, yeah, I can sometimes understand that people are not going to connect with the character. Um, so that is going to be for me. I think that's going to be the biggest challenge for me. But the reason why I took this decision is also a little bit of like the technology behind it, because simply I have not all the logic power knowledge in my brain. So to realize options like that is for me like, yeah, it takes even more resources. And yeah, at least I want to bring this game out when uh, when the world is still there. So yeah, that was definitely my consideration to put it in. But like, I have decided not to, and just pick one protagonist character, even though it's not really a protagonist character. It's just a character, and I try to make it so that or you can relate to the character, or you're just having fun. I mean, like it's not going to be that serious of a game. It's not going to be like a deep dive story, um, because like I still want to make it fun. I still want to make it fun to play, and that you are going to yeah, just I really want to take you on a journey. I really want to take you on a journey where yeah, that's like not in what we know in the real world. So you can definitely expect something like that. I can already say this is not a spoiler, but you can definitely expect some stuff that it's taking you out of all the reality that you know in the world right now. So I think that's what video games should do. In my opinion, I mean, we already have too many games that going for realistic, more realistic, and the more like, I mean, everyone likes what they want, but like, I really rather want to play games that like takes me away from reality, instead of like replaying it. So or like, that's going to be closer to the reality, and not everyone likes that, but yeah, you cannot please anyone. You cannot please everyone. So yeah, you have to make decisions, right? Okay, and I'm talking like almost like a half hour with like some like backstory and stuff like that, and so now you know a little bit where it all comes from. Like you also hopefully know where um, how Aria was going to create, how Aria created. Sorry, my English, but I really want to tell this a little bit, like how Aria how Aria been made, and um, yeah, I think it's important to know a little bit that I have been doing resources to achieve at least to get like an environment like what you saw in the trailer, and so this is what you're actually going to see. And to prove that, we have here some character. I put it like a half hour in. So we have here in character, right? So and if I press now play modes. Oh, we are still with one sec. I need to disable that as well. Wait, how is it? Huh? How is my trader still running? Oh, there we go. That was weird. Okay, so now we're just having the carriage, right? You're not going to play in like this, so you're not going to move around in a three-dimensional environment. And the reason why that is because like when I was like creating Sharky, for example, Sharky was a 2.5D platformer, and I kind of felt more comfortable to do like it's really weird to say that for yourself, but like a decent looking decent looking worlds, um, but still like playable, right? Like you're like sometimes you're like you cannot push the quality that high if you're going to make it all in a three-dimensional space. I mean, like you can do it in Dreams, of course. Not that Dreams is a weak engine or anything, but I just like I feel more that I can put more just more detail if it's in a 2.5D environment. So that's why that's the first reason. The second reason is that like I've not seen like a story driven game in a 2.5D environment. And with that I mean like you do see a lot of platformer games. There are games already out there, like Little Nightmares and stuff like that, like that they are telling a story in 2.5D, but they are very small games. I mean, like I think you can beat them in a few hours. Like, so they're very small, tiny games. Um, I'm not sure how big this game is going to be. It's going to be as big as like. I think I want, and but also, yeah, I have to release it eventually as well. So I have to still see like how big I'm going to make this, or if I'm going to make a sequel after this or not, or just one story and that's it. So I have been um, I have been thinking a lot about like if I wanted to do like a three-dimensional space that you can walk around freely in the worlds that I want to build in that I built for, or just take the environment in as in a 2.5D platform. So I have been thinking about this a lot, of course. But when I was doing the forest one, the Once Upon a Time forest, yeah, like walking around in a three-dimensional space also always is more heavier more heavier on the process of the PlayStation, of course, on the GPU and CPU. Um, even though like scenes like this can already be a little bit heavy, and I will show that later in the video, but the re- I have considered to do a three-dimensional space, but I think for me it's more challenging to have it in a two and then have the environments. I will do some surprises here and there, so it's not going to be like the classic way of 2.5D. So I will find boundaries, break them, and do something different with it. That's what I really want to do, and more about that later. But the first the step that I want to take was that it's going to be like 2.5D environments. So and yeah, have some challenges with that because like you cannot tell everything with that because like you only see one side of the world, right? You only see one particular side of the world. You're not going to see the other side unless you're going to switch the camera. um, but that was like for me like okay, that can be a problem, of course. Like it can be a problem for not showing what is behind the character or what's behind the other side of the camera of the screen. So if I still wanna like give like for people that remember, sorry for all the brabbling, but like if you remember the teaser trailer, you saw both sides. You saw like a camera like going um, through a street basically with Tories inside, and I was showing both sides. So I kind of gave in the teaser trailer that it was some sort of like a three-dimensional space, and it was not really clear back then for some people that it was going to be 2.5D, even though I wrote it in the description though. Um, but but I can understand that you're not like thinking right away because of that, because like you're seeing the teaser trailer, it's like the camera zooms in into the street, which both sides, a building going through tourists, so you're not going to expect that this game is going to be 2.5D. And when I was like making the teaser trailer, I was still in a decision for myself, like, am I going um, for a three-dimensional space that you can actually like walk around in 360 and 360 degrees, and um, so that was why I created a trailer, because like I really want to give myself the option still um, when I was going to reveal trailer. um, but I have decided just to go for the 2.5D. Maybe in the future, if I'm ever going to make a sequel or another game that is like um, yeah, the same type of universe or stuff like that, that maybe I will consider to do it in a completely different way. But for now, it's just 2.5D. Also, it's for me time. I don't have all the time in the world, so I'm basically building this game in my free time. So yeah, I don't always have the full time work on this. I mean, like I work full time on this if I have the time for it, but I don't have all the time in the world to create this. So um, and to fast to speed up the development progress is for me was just the right answer to and have the environment. So I only have to worry about one side of the world design. Even though I will of course do like stuff like this where you get a little bit of a feeling that there is something in the front. I will not. I will like do that very subtle, like some. So of course there will be stuff like that that you get a little bit more feeling that you are taking part of a bigger world. So that is something that I will put. So if you're going to play the game, I will let you show that it actually feels like you're taking part of a bigger world. But even though you're only seeing one side. Whew, okay, that being said, now, because of that, we're not going to run in this particular 360 degrees walking around. I'm basically having it in 2.5D, so that's what we're going to do with this as well. There we go. So now the character can only walks from left to right, as you can see, and the reason why I put like a puppet from Minimal Q in here is just to show that, just to show how the game runs. I am aware it's not 60 FPS, so it's not going to be running 60 FPS, at least not on the base PlayStation 4. I will try to lock it, or well, I don't think you can lock it in Dreams, but like, I will try to at least to stay above the 30 FPS. So I will try. I'm not going to do like the Once Upon a Time Forest disaster. So and this was like when I was like building this particular world. This has a lot of bamboo trees, right? Like there are a lot of bamboo trees, and I was so afraid that like Dreams was not going to handle all the back distance drawing with this, and I'm happy with the outcome, how it still runs. So I was a little bit afraid of that, to be honest, when I was like building this particular world, because like I know that back of distance drawing can be a little bit harder for Dreams to render quality. Of course, you have some tricks and tips, and of course, you can cheat a little bit in the background, because like in the background, you don't need to have higher quality of the stuff, because you're not going to see that from close anyway. So there are like a lot of like tricks you can and cheats you can do with that stuff. But yeah, this particular bamboo area was for me just to see. Okay, the word Aria, by the way, is not going to be in there. Now you know where the trailer ends. It's that part. But um, yeah, like the bamboo tree was for me very like um, worrying about, because like I was not sure if it was going to handle a lot. But it runs fine. It runs still above 30 FPS. So that's something that I am really happy about, and I will try to do that with every level. It can be happening that some levels are maybe going to have a higher frame rate, but I doubt I doubt that with my stuff of like putting detail in it. But yeah, at least I will try to. Well, not I will not. I'm not going to try. I will, of course, going for the above the 30 FPS. And but to be honest, I don't think that a side-scrolling game needs to be 60 FPS unless you're going to make a race game, or a competitive shooter or whatever, or something like that. Then I would understand you going for the higher frame rate. But like, I don't really need to have like a higher frame rate with Aria. Okay, so as you can see, I can just like walk around, right? Like I can walk around in the scene. Also, like my assets that I'm building in is based on real life size. Now, I'm not going to say that this is like this is the height of the character that you're going to play with, but at least like the sculpts, everything that I sculpt is based on real life. So, um, and with that I mean like the one-on-one size stuff. That's always what I do, and that's always what I go for. And so as you can see, like this puppet, yeah, like the proportions is correct, or at least like it makes sense, right? You're walking here under the I don't know what it's called in Japanese, but the gates. I do believe they have a name for that. I'm not sure, um, but like here, you can see like you're walking like under the gate, and like the fence, everything makes sense. Okay, that rhymes, by the way. Okay, now you can see that it just like runs okay, right? Like it's if I just like I can also like run a little bit. Oh, then we have here some obstacles going. But like I think it runs okay. Um, there are maybe some places that it 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 runs a little bit less, and that is because of some stuff that I put into the scene. Like this, for example, here we have like bushes going on here, which is very heavy to render for Dreams. This is basically the part where the graphic turmoil is rising up. This particular part, and then here it's gone again. But but yeah, this is like this to like I have a little bit of disclaimer. I have to say that this can change though. Um, Maybe I should have like put a disclaimer in the beginning of the video saying that like there are parts in the world that it's subject to be changed, because like it's not the final version, but it's just like this. Probably going to like tweak a lot about this anyway. So if you're watching this video after the game is out and is not looking like this anymore, then you know why. Because like, yeah, it happens, right? You're building a world, and it can happen, of course, that you want to tweak and change stuff, and I still want to change stuff in here. So this is definitely not the final version of the world, but the quality is like this. So that's for me the most important thing. I really want to keep the quality the same, so that it feels natural to be around, to walk around it. Another thing you probably also notice is that I have like what I said before in the video earlier in this video is that I have a day and night cycle. So you can see it's very like speed up now. I did that for the trailer. It's like it cycles every 1 minute and 6 seconds, I think. So every 1 minute and 6 seconds, it cycles through day and night. I still have to tweak the original logic for this because the amount of daytime and nighttime is not really correct, so it's not really well balanced. So I have to do that in the original file so I can like update it in here. But yeah, there will be day-night cycle. There will also be different weather systems. So that's something that's going to be in the game. So you will going through the world in an actually day-night cycle. Um, if you do not like day-night cycle, I will give the player the option to sleep, or set up like I have to be careful for saying too much information at the moment. But like, I will give an option if you do not like to walk around in the nighttime. I will give that option. So don't worry, you don't have to walk around in nighttime if you don't want to. Like, I will give you that option at least. Because personally, I hate like playing games in nighttime. I always like to see all the full colors and brightness, and but also because maybe I'm afraid of the dark. But no, I'm not afraid of the dark. But like, or am I? But like, I really want to play rather games in daytime because I think maybe I'm a little bit night blindness, so I think I have that from my mother's side. But like, if it's going to get night, it's harder for me to see things. Um, but the thing is that like, and even though like in a game perspective, nighttime is not actually looking nighttime in real life, but you of course you have to make sure that it looks like still okay. um, but I will give that option to the player that you can maybe sleep or set up maybe a fire and to sit around at, and then just like skip the day basically, or not skip the day, but skip the nighttime. I think that's maybe. I'm not sure like how I'm exactly going to do this logically, but I definitely think that's possible to do. Um, so now I'm saying something that I'm promising doing, and I'm not even sure how to do it at the moment. But I will consider something like. Don't worry, I will figure something, and otherwise I will ask other people how to do stuff like that. But um, it's definitely something that I will add. That like if you don't like nighttime, I will give that option, and it's also vice versa. Like if you wanna um, if you don't like to play in daytime, you can also skip to nighttime. I'm not going to do daytime, nighttime, morning. I think that's a lot of. I think it's maybe too much for a game like this. But I think that just like you can say like, okay, I want to wake up or skip the day, and then you will wake up eventually in the morning again, standardly at 6 a.m. in the morning, for example. So that's something going to be like that. But more information about that, and I will share that on the official Twitter page of Aria the game. So I will eventually also showing that as well. But yeah, back to like the day night cycle. The day night cycle is a very important element in Aria. Um, Maybe you already noticed in here that like the lights goes on when it's nighttime, and now you will say like, yeah, well, whatever. But there is a reason behind them doing this because like sometimes in nighttime you'll see different things than you see in daytime, and without going to fully go into spoilers or anything, or saying too much is that, but I really like you will counter worlds that will look different in nighttime versus daytime. And here is very simple simplicity with the lights. This is only lights that going on and off. When it's night, it's maybe timed a little bit off a little bit, but that's because like I had to. I'm still working on the cycle. But like here is very simple with the lights going on and off, right? And also the if you can see it, there's also flies. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video, but I think you can see it a little bit. There's also flies around the light, and they're gone when it's actually daytime. So like, and this is only like a small detail in this particular area, and now they're gone. You don't see the flies anymore. So and also the lights off. But the thing is that like this is like one of those details, but there will be if you're going to go further into your journey, you will like see different things if it's nighttime. So I am rewarding people that likes to play at nighttime. Um, but yeah, I mean like it's a little bit part of going. It's going to be part of the story as well. But like it's um, but things like that you can expect to going to see in Aria the game, because like Aria the game is for me just like I really want to put these details in. I really want to change the worlds depending on on the day night. Um, but there's not all of of that system. There will also be rain effects, completely randomly. So sometimes it can rain every 5 minutes or 1 minute, or so it can really change from time to time. It can also change like if it's going to rain very hard or very soft. There will also be snow maybe. So I have some plans for the weather system as well, and it's going to be completely randomly. I have no control over the weather because we have not that as well in real life. At least I'm aware. But so yeah, the weather system is and the day-night cycle system is very going to vary the key point in Aria, um, because I think that will add more. I want to say realistic because even though I'm not trying to do the realistic part, but that's at least a little bit more immersive into like the world. That the world is actually alive. As you can see, also like the lanterns are blowing in the wind, so they are actually like interacting as if there's like wind blowing through that. So I really try to make the world more alive. Now there are things that like still maybe look very static, like the bushes in here. But that's what I said before. Probably going to change this part into something else. But um, yeah, I really try to make that like the world is alive, and I think in here part you sometimes see a little bit of dust going on or flies flying, depending on where on the day and nights. I think. Um, so yeah, see, you can see some. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video though. But there are some flies and like stuff like that in here going on. I do have to speed them up a little bit. They are going a little bit too slow. But um, that's like something that I really want to try to do. Like that the world is just like very alive and try to do it vibrant. So like it's going to be all like that in, or that's what you're going to expect in Aria. I think that I have said everything so far that I wanted to say in this video. If you want to see more about this in the future, let me know. If you want to see more like behind the scenes videos like this. In this case, it was just like for the trailer. At least the world that I used for the trailer. Um, there are like some things that you're probably going to like see like different uh you're probably going to see like a different environment than what you're seeing now, because like I'm still working on the world itself. There will be NPCs to talk with and stuff like that, so please look forward to it. um I think that I don't really know what else I can still share in this video that maybe you want to know. I think like I really want to show at least that like it runs, as you can see. So this is not a trailer; it's actually that you can walk around in. Of course, not with this character though. But just to show a little bit, like that is actually just what you're going to expect in Aria. This particular world and design. What I can show a little bit more, but maybe I can show that in a maybe an extra video after this, is a little bit the techniques that I used. I think that's maybe fun to see that as well. But we're now almost an hour in this video, so I'm going to close this video and just to say thank you so much for watching. If you still make it to this part in this video, you're awesome. And I hope I did not bore or like make you sleepy or anything. I hope it was not boring to listen to, like how Aria got started and till what we have now. But yeah, just like please look forward to it, and see you next time. Bye bye, everybody, and don't forget to dream.